Hawaii went from a highly organized, self-sufficient society to one where 90% of the food is imported. Hawaii's genius traditional food system, the ahupua'a, nearly disappeared after the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom.
The Great Mahele privatized lands in Hawaii. The concept of land ownership was so foreign to us. These companies began buying up lands. They essentially started to kick off the natives from the ahupua'a.
A group of native Hawaiians started a resistance movement.
One of the things I'm focused on is the health implications and the differences before and after the introduction of the standard American diet into Polynesian culture. We'll focus on Polynesia in general, and we could also highlight Hawaii, but I like talking about it in a more broad term. Before Western contact, we're talking 1700s to 1800s. The obesity rate, less than 10%. Diabetes and heart disease was rare, nearly completely non-existent. Most Polynesians, based on the environments that they were in and the diets they were eating, strong, lean, muscular builds, especially due to the high physical activity. Diets were higher in fiber, rich in nutrients, and anti-inflammatory. Diet and lifestyle mainly consisted of taro, breadfruit, sweet potato, fresh fish, shellfish, and occasionally pork. Can't leave out coconut, and out of the coconut you got coconut meat, coconut milk, and oil for healthy fats, but you could also factor in omega-3s from fish. Then daily activity from farming, fishing, paddling, and walking. We had to walk everywhere. Then we'll talk about initial Western contact. So with initial Western contact, we're talking late 1700s to the mid 1800s. Some of the biggest changes that were introduced at that time was refined sugars, white flour, the introduction of alcohol through trade, and missionaries and colonization. This is where we start seeing some of the first signs of early tooth decay. Also, some minor weight gain within some communities. Physical activity remained high. Chronic diseases overall were pretty rare. And now we'll start transitioning into the early 1900s. Here we start to notice a larger shift. One of the main diet shifts comes with the increased importation of rice, canned meats like Spam, corned beef, and abundance of sweetened drinks. Fresh food, especially during daily meals, the local food begins to decline, particularly due to colonization and, let's face it, convenience. Around this time frame, we start to see some of the first recorded increases in obesity and dental health. Some cases of hypertension, but still below modern levels. Beginning in the 1940s to the 1950s, we start to notice a massive food system shift with the wars. U.S. military presence in the Pacific brought massive shipments of shelf-stable style foods. We're talking Spam, canned goods, instant noodles, sugar, and powdered milk. Dependency on imported and processed foods starts skyrocketing. Agriculture and self-sufficiency start declining. The health impacts with that, we start to see a steady rise in obesity and high blood pressure. This is why I would like to consider the beginning of generational taste differences with processed meats and the refined carbs. From the 1960s to the 1980s, we have the adoption, or the standard American diet adoption. Diets are now dominated by white rice, processed bread, fried foods, sugary drinks, packaged snacks, and fast food chains. Physical activity declines with the introduction of motorized vehicles, office jobs, and urbanization. Health consequences. Start to see a rise of obesity rates starting to exceed 30 to 40% in the population in some of these communities. Type 2 diabetes starts showing up as one of the prevalent major health concerns. And this is where we see cardiovascular disease becomes a top cause of death. Shift to the 1990s to the early 2000s, chronic disease explosion. Obesity rates in adults starts to reach 60 to 70% in several Pacific Island nations. Type 2 diabetes prevalence hits 20 to 30%, talking Native Hawaiians, Samoans, Tongans. Cardiovascular disease surges to 80% higher in non-Pacific Islander US averages. Key drivers for that is cheap processed imports outcompeting local agriculture. Soda consumption starts replacing coconut water, and freshwater. Begin to see a rise in aggressive marketing for junk foods within Polynesian communities. Now I'll move to the 2010s to the current stage where we're at now. 9 out of 10 of the most obese countries on the planet are Pacific Island nations. Some islands import 80 to 90% of their food sources. Most of it is processed. Diabetic complications range from kidney failure to amputations, blindness, and those are sharply on the rise. The cultural impact with this is processed foods like Spam, turkey tail, muli pipi, and corned beef are embedded in holiday and family traditions to this day. Efforts to return to more traditional style food systems are growing, but the cost and the availability of these are major barriers. Hope you found this insightful. Like and comment for more.